Hey guys, it's Clary Berry here. I am just hanging out. It's nap time. Me and Rocky are just relaxing, and I thought I'd make a video. I'm starting to get some good responses, and I just want to thank everyone who is commenting on my videos. Whether you agree with me or not, it's just awesome to know that people are actually watching my stuff. So, I have my mic, as you can see here. Obviously, this is the wrong kind of mic. I have a karaoke machine that I never use. I was about to hook that up so you guys could hear me. Technical difficulties, right? I also have a couple of these headphones. All right. Go ahead, Rock. So I have a couple of these headphones, and oh, I think this one does have a mic on it. Well, maybe we should just plug it in, because I was just give it a go. Oh, I don't want to take it off of Rocky. Go with that, but I want you guys to be able to hear me, and everybody's been saying that, you know, they can't hear me at all. So I don't want that to happen. So I'll try this out, and we'll see. Did you plug in? Yes, I plugged in headphone. Don't ask me again. Okay, sorry. So right now, what we're gonna do is just have a little talk about, oh my gosh, the big question, the question that everybody is always asking about, and that, of course, is the whole weight gain thing, and what is the deal? And there's a lot of like, you know, misconceptions about it. And there's a lot of gray areas, I think, a little bit. There's always a gray area, right? There's a gray area, and it's just hard for the newbies because there's numerous different things that actually may be causing, you know, the weight gain. And, you know, I have to say, first of all, that everything that you've seen from Freely on this subject is 100% correct. I'm not going to tell you any differently, because every time that I find that I stray or I start getting away from what they say, like, that's just where I start to go downhill. So, the number one thing, you know, I want to talk about it first is that when you're a newbie, the bloating, you know, the whole issue in the beginning, yeah, it sucks. It makes you not want to eat as much, and it sets you up for failure. And so don't worry about the bloat. Like, don't get that confused with gaining weight. Don't get that confused with feeling fat, any of it. Like, you just need to keep on smashing it in. Now, this is where I kind of talk about the gray line, because, you know, you don't want to make yourself sick. You don't want to be like, your body's already going through a lot whenever you're changing your diet like this, but you don't want to be like overloading it with too much food. And so in the beginning, at least I know that I struggled with this thing where, like, oh, I didn't want to make too much smoothie, and I was just going to make, like, honestly, like 8 smoothies a day. Like, let me make just a small one, you know, and add a lot of water and, you know, all this stuff. I would recommend, like, if you're a newbie and you're trying to get the smoothies in and all of that, just make, you know, more than you need and put it in your fridge. You want it there that very second when you decide that you're hungry. Sometimes, you know, we're not used to feeling this volume of food, this type of food in our stomachs. So, you know, we don't sometimes accurately gauge, you know, how long you're going to want to take. And that's hard to work around. So it's really good when you're starting Rotsville 4 if you can have some time and space and, you know, to kind of feel things out for yourself without being around other people and their food and stuff like that, is really helpful to me. But just remember that when you eat those big old smoothies, like, that's just because it's not going down. And I mean, it may go down for you. Like, I remember watching, when I was pretty new still, watching Freely talk about her bloat. And she's like, oh yeah, it just goes down in like 30 minutes. And I was like, I wish mine went down after 30 minutes. I mean, mine wasn't going down. I would literally, it was kind of upsetting because, and this is what made me I thought I was doing it wrong. I thought I was eating too much. And I'm like, how do you eat too much on this diet? Like, that's not possible. So, and then I realized, like, for a short period of time, like I was kind of eating too much, but I had to get that way. I had to overfill my stomach for it to grow. And it's kind of difficult to explain because, like I said, gray area, you're teetering, like I'm like feeling really stuffed, and I feel like my digestion at a certain point was kind of compromised because I was really just trying to stuff in the calories. But then on the other hand, like, what's the payoff? What's the other choice? If I wasn't stuffing myself at that point with that kind of food, like overstuffing myself really, then I would have been eating other things. And I remember just feeling that way, just like feeling famished on this diet. And don't make the mistake of thinking that that's how people feel on this diet normally, because I finally realized like it does even out. And now I can do one big ass smoothie for breakfast, and I can do one big ass smoothie for lunch. No problem. Whereas before I'm like freaking out on all this stuff. So smash it in. Keep smashing it in. Don't worry so much about like, are you eating too much fruit? Like, you can't. It's just smash it in. Don't worry about the bloat. It will go away. It's been 6 months for me, and I don't get that way. My belly definitely goes down, and it's been that way for a while. It's not like all of a sudden in 6 months. But, and here's the other thing, is that it absolutely has to do with how you're doing with the rest of the diet or lifestyle. It has to do with how much sleep. It has to do with how much water. Sorry, I know this is horrible lighting, but I really wanted to like change this a little bit. So see if we can not get that crazy light going there. Okay. So like I said, I kind of yo-yoed a little bit regarding this, and I had some times like about Valentine's Day, I was a couple months in, and I had been doing really well. And up until this point, I had been losing weight. Like, I honestly think that my weight gain, because I was never really a huge calorie restrictor. I did it for short periods of time, but I could never really do it because I've always been really active and have to chase around the kids. So I just couldn't make it work. So I feel like since I didn't, hurt my metabolism too much, that like I've been bouncing up, back pretty well on this diet. But I did yo-yo a little bit. And like I said, every time when I started it, it was like Valentine's Day, I had a funeral to go to. And so I had like some cake and stuff, and, just some dishes that were, made with love by my grandma's friends. And I was just like, at the funeral, I didn't plan ahead and bring smoothies to the funeral. So anyway, I started eating all this fatty food, and one of my big points here now is that a little bit of fat, and I'm sure you guys know this. If you're on this lifestyle and you've tracked your calories at all, then you'll know that it is very easy to get in that way over, the amount of fat that you want on this diet. It's so easy. I mean, I cannot imagine. I really honestly think that the 30, 35, even 40 estimate for Americans as far as percentage of fat has to be higher. I mean, when you're eating meat plus dairy plus butter plus oil plus all this stuff, and then some nuts on the side, like it adds up so fast. It adds up when you're just eating nuts. So remember that this oil, and usually it's oil, it's kind of snuck in there, but if you have fat in any way, whether it's, and some people are different, they can handle more avocado or whatever. Me, I say it all the time, I feel sluggish, I feel like tired and cluttered brain as soon as I eat a bunch of fat. But I've also noticed, besides those feelings, that's when I really get bloated. Besides, like I get a face bloat from salt, but whenever I have gotten really off the diet, and whenever that weight spiked up, it was because of things like that, like oil and eggs and cake and things like that. And little cheats, they would lead to other cheats. I'm really a strong believer now that I feel it in my own body, like being cleansed of these things is so important, because you can sit there and get mad at yourself for wanting these foods and being a failure and being so weak, but it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. It was a choice you made, yes, but it has nothing to do with your body. And you need to recognize that it's just the food in you that's like trying to get more, it's trying to get more food in you. So it's just like an addiction. So the fat, when you eat it, it stays in your system for so long. Reading 80-10-10 was, actually I loaned it out. I was go to grab for it and it's loaned out right now, but reading 80-10-10 is, really good idea. You really learn a lot about how fat is horrible for diabetes and everything else, and how it stays in your system and basically just sits there and clogs up your system for, up to and over 24 hours. So even a little bit of fat can really go a really long way. And again, once you eat it, I'm just finding like on this diet, like fat is like the devil, seriously, because once you eat it, it's going to make you I feel like it's going to make you get more bloated off of all the other foods that you're eating for an extended period of time. So you're not just getting bloated from the oil, but especially with fruit, this is a lot of times why fruit gets such a bad rap, is because so much of its standard American diet is fat. And so when fruit and fat combine, they don't really combine very well at all, most fruits. So that's an issue. It can cause a lot of bloating. I remember Freely said they knew one guy that went to the hospital actually the morning after he had a really big fatty meal, the night before, and then the morning after he ate a watermelon, and the watermelon goes through your system so fast, and the sludgy oil stuff that he ate last night, like, fast food or whatever, was still in his system, and the watermelon catches up to that. And so when that got together, that was a bunch of, fermentation and gases going on, made him have like severe stomach cramps, and he had to go to the hospital. So, and I've definitely noticed that. And I always knew, my Chinese oriental medical doctor, 10 years ago had always told us, eat watermelon for breakfast, eat your melons alone. And everybody thought I was crazy back then, but I still stand by it today. And I totally agree with it. So yeah, look into food combining if you have that bloat as well. That's really huge to kind of learn those rules. And it seems daunting at first. You're like, okay, what fruits? But really just, you can kind of, when you're getting used to it, just kind of consult the charts and stuff as you're eating and as you're making your meals is really all you can do. And, everybody's different. So just kind of, even more importantly, make notes about what makes you feel good and remember those. So just relax. It'll come to you. Your body will get used to this type of food. It really will. You'll settle down. You'll start to have, more regular types of meals, just like you used to, or maybe did or didn't. But just remember that fat is horrible. It's, once you get that out, you'll feel better. And it's so hard. The hard part about it is, with newbies, at least for me, like, really underestimate. And if at the very beginning, I really underestimated the salt, which was very bloating as well, but the oil in different foods that I had and that I was eating. And I still do it. Like when I go out to eat, I'll get calzones or something, or like even pizza and things like that. It's kind of like, and tortillas, I know there's some oil in those, so I'm still getting more than I need. And it's still something that I'm absolutely working on as I'm trying to bring my weight down. I think I have, another 10 pounds, like the last 10 that I could lose, if I wanted to be like super, super fit. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want to show that how great this lifestyle makes me feel. And I think being as fit as humanly possible is a great way to show how great you feel. So, basically what I'm trying to say is, don't underestimate. If you're going to have these little cheats like me and kind of do these little cheat meals, like you're so good for a few days, 95-5, and then you got to, get back up to 80-10-10. So you have kind of a cheat meal. It's not really a huge cheat, but it's a cheat. It's great to have built-in cheat meals. I love it. I mean, it's brilliant, but just don't underestimate the oil in those things. Like, I got some really good Sonoma tortillas that have no oil in them. They're awesome. They're pretty basic corn style though. So like when I go out, I just get flour tortillas. I know there's oil on those things. And I tell them, light oil, no oil, when possible. It's just one of those things that sneaks in everything. And even things you may not think has, a lot of fat. That's I think where it's at, where I think the key is, if you're still not in a place and you're past that point of just being bloated all the time, you know, just that beginner's bloat, you know. If you're past that, I really think you should really check the oil, check your salt too, but really just check the fats and make sure that you're actually keeping those where you want to. And then the last thing is just make sure that you're moving. I mean, the whole idea is not really, oh, you know, you can eat as much as you want and not have to exercise. Like the whole idea is you want to be as healthy as possible. And whenever you stimulate your metabolism, whenever you exercise, you actually create a situation where your body's burning more calories. It's lighting the fire, you know, of your metabolism. It's your metabolism's going faster and faster every time, you know, you work out. So ideally, you know, you want to just keep on having all this energy so you can keep on working out and, you know, be able to recover faster and burn more all the time, even when you're not exercising. So you really get to a point where you're just kind of sitting pretty. I guess that's where Freely is. And yeah, like I honestly wish I would have found this lifestyle sooner is my only thing. Is my only regret. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Let me know your questions, comments, your experiences with oil, with fat, and your weight loss. If you, you know, if you have a weight loss story or anything like that, and it has to do with anything we're talking about, just please feel free to leave it down in the comments. And as usual, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you think. I don't care. I won't even look. I don't think I can look, can I? And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this microphone worked. If not, leave me some comments on the best microphones to get or what like style, if something like this is good, or should I search for something else that I don't know what to do. Actually, I am in the market for like a new phone. My phone's a piece of crap, and so I want something I can do videos on. So if you know of a good phone that you could recommend to me, that would be totally awesome. Thank you very much. Eat your fruit. Have a great Tuesday. Bye, guys.